How to play the E minor chord. When you see the E minor in music or in chord charts or tablature, it's usually referred to as E with a small m. The M stands for minor. Now let's play one. Firstly, place the second finger on the second fret of the A string. Then place the third finger in the second fret of the D string. Now strum all the strings. Let's look at that again with the guitar. Firstly, place the second finger on the second fret of the A string. Then place the third finger in the second fret of the D string. Now strum all the strings. If your E minor chord still doesn't sound correct, let's see if we can work out what's going wrong. The first thing you need to do is check the tuning. Take your fingers off and just play each string and see what it sounds like. Or you might need to pause this video and check your guitar with the tuner. Once you know your guitar's in tune, place the fingers back on. That's the second finger in the second fret of the A string and the third finger in the second fret of the D string. Now strum again. If you find it necessary, play each note one by one so you can hear clearly what each string's doing. This way you can establish which string or strings is at fault and causing the problem. If you're finding the fingered strings are the problem, then the first thing you need to try to do is to press harder on the strings. The most common fault for a beginner to do is to not press hard enough on the strings. If this doesn't correct the problem, then you need to check that the fingers are properly inside the frets and not resting on the frets or overlapping them. However, if you're having a problem with the open strings not ringing, your fingers must be touching or resting on them. You need to learn to look carefully at where your fingers are resting on the guitar and how they are resting, and check they're not coming in contact with the strings that they shouldn't be. Your fingers should be on their tips and not lying down sideways. Now, to make sure they do get on their tips, try bringing the thumb around the neck of the guitar towards the floor. By doing this, you automatically bring the fingers onto their tips. This can feel a little uncomfortable and a little unnatural at first, but it will soon feel quite natural once you've practiced this way for a while. Another common mistake I've come across is when people rest the side of their hand or the side of their fingers on the fingerboard. If you do this, you end up muting the top E string. So, if when you check each individual string you find the top E string is being muted, this is probably what's happening. So you need to move your hand away from the side of the fingerboard and allow the top E string to ring correctly. If all else fails, there's two other ways of fingering this chord. The first one involves two fingers, the first and the second finger. And we play it like this. Place the first finger on the second fret of the A string, then place the second finger next to it on the second fret of the D string. Now strum. The second alternative way to finger this chord just involves one finger. And to play this, we simply place the first finger across both the A string and the D string in the second fret. You just slide it slightly on its side or place it between the strings so it's covering both strings. Now strum to see if you've got it. Now, this method is only good if you've got broad fingertips. However, if you don't have broad fingertips, there's no way you could do this one. Whichever way you finally play the chord, as long as it sounds right, it doesn't matter, and as long as you're enjoying playing the guitar, that's the important thing.